Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about how to help a baby poo if they are struggling to go. So the first most common thing that I hear in the breastfeeding world is that breastfed babies don't need to poo very often. It's really common to hear that breast milk has very little waste, so babies don't really need to poo very much. And actually that's not true. Up to 6 weeks of age, we would expect babies to poo at least once a day. And that poo should be at least the size of a £2 coin or roughly equivalent to a tablespoon. And ideally, it should be a lovely yellow sort of korma sauce colour. Ideally, it should be quite plentiful, but as a minimum, we'd expect one poo a day. And a skid mark in a nappy doesn't count. So if your baby's not meeting that standard up to 6 weeks, or you have any concerns about how often your baby's pooing, it might be worth speaking to somebody who's trained in breastfeeding, who can make sure that your baby's feeding effectively and just check that everything's going okay. The second common myth that I hear about baby poo is that the colour and consistency of the poo doesn't matter. So it is really important to look at your baby's poo, and most parents will be able to tell if there's something unusual about the way their baby is passing a stool. And the poo is really interesting because it tells us what's going on inside baby's body. So really, babies, very young babies especially, should be passing really soft stools. If they're breastfed, it should be like a thick liquid. Formula-fed babies tend to do more of a spreadable, sort of toothpaste consistency of a poo. And both really should be in the spectrum of yellow coloured. If you're seeing a poo that is brown or black or green, maybe it might have mucus in it or blood, that can be quite alarming for parents, and that is a really good sign that you do need to seek some medical advice and perhaps again speak to somebody who's qualified in infant feeding who can support you. Another really common myth is that babies can't poo too much. So it's complete opposite to the first one, is that they don't need to go at all. Actually, babies can poo too much. Again, we're looking at the consistency, colour, smell, type of poo that they're doing. A baby that's pooing really frequently and might be doing a really foul smelling poo, maybe with blood or mucus in it, is probably showing signs of an allergy, and that really needs investigating by somebody qualified, and again, get some medical advice with regard to that. Something else that comes up really often is that if they're not pooing, we need to give them something to help them poo, and usually that's a really bad idea. Some of the things that I hear all the time is that they should have a teaspoon of orange juice, a teaspoon of apple juice, maybe give them an ounce of cool boiled water or brown sugar water. I hear that a lot, and actually it's really dangerous to be giving especially newborn babies those types of things to help them poo. Really, we should be giving them more milk and looking at the reasons that they're not pooing, rather than trying to give them an alien substance that their tummies aren't expecting to force them to poo. And something else that is really alarming that I hear quite a lot is that to get a baby to poo, we should put something up their bum. I would never ever recommend doing that. It's really dangerous. I've heard everything from Vaseline to a cotton bud and even slivers of soap, and there's absolutely no evidence to support doing this, and you could really harm a little baby by doing something like that. So if you have concerns about how your baby's pooing or how often they're pooing, the best thing to do is seek some qualified support instead of trying to remedy it at home with something that's not evidence-based that could harm your child. So we've talked before about some of the myths about poo, and we know that it's not really a good idea to be giving babies anything different to make them poo or anything dangerous. So here are some ideas for helping them to go that anybody can do. So the first thing that I recommend if your baby's struggling to poo or has any digestive discomfort is to get them in some warm water. So either put them in the baby bath or get in the bath with them, that's even better. Skin to skin contact is really relaxing for babies and helps them feel really calm and soothed, and they'll feel a lot better if they're with a caregiver. So getting them in the bath, skin to skin, warm water over their tummy, You do have to be prepared for the fact that they might poo on you though, so do be warned. Another great thing that can help a baby go when they've got digestive discomfort is baby massage. So there's actually a couple of really good moves that you can do, one of which is called the I love you. You can run your hand down and across and down and then round in a U shape to help the baby relieve any tension that they've got in the stomach. And also it's a really good way to bond with your baby and spend some really good time with them, and just having that interaction with them can really calm them down, soothe them enough to feel relaxed to go for a poo. Another thing that parents really like to do and does have a really good effect is something that's called bicycle legs. So imagine laying your baby down flat on their back, gently holding their ankles and moving the legs as if they are pedaling a bicycle, and just really gently moving the knees up towards the stomach. That can really relax the bowel and sometimes help them go. Another really good way of helping babies feel relaxed enough to do a poo is to wear them in a sling. So any type of sling is fine as long as they are held close and tight and their bottom and legs are in an M shape. This shape helps them sort of sit in a squatting position, which is sort of similar how to adults and older children go to the toilet, so that can really help them feel relaxed. And again, that contact with a caregiver is really soothing, and even if they don't go for a poo, it might calm them down if they are experiencing any discomfort. Now, I can't claim for this last one that there is any evidence behind it whatsoever, but I've been assured by nearly every mum that I've met that this one works, guaranteed. Dress your baby head to toe in white, in the whitest, most expensive, most beautiful white outfit that you own, and leave your house without a nappy bag. Don't go too far, because if it works, you will have to come home and clean them up. But everybody I've spoken to who's tried this method says that it works, but I promise you, there is no science to back it. It's just one of those weird old wives' tales.